Can you solve all these Indian history questions? Indian Mutiny began in.
Excellent. 1857 is well reasoned. Ancient Indian society was. Strong choice. Patriarchal one is right. Indian flag is designed by. Bravo. Madam Kama is the answer. Indian Navy Act was passed on. Nice selection. 1927 is correct.
Every Indian is corrupt. Who said?
Clear logic. Lord Hastings is sound. Raja Tarangini describes the history of. Good thinking. Kashmir is right. Raja Taranjani by Kalhan is a history of. On track. Kashmir is correct. Herodotus has been called the father of. You chose history? Correct. The Indian Independence Act was passed in. Right choice, July 1947. Indus Valley Civilization is an example of. Correct response. Proto-history is accurate. Which is the oldest Indian linguistic text? You got it. Ashtadhyayi fits. The poet who is called as Indian Shakespeare. Perfect. Kaledas is the one.
China invaded Indian frontiers in the year dash.
Nicely done. 1962 is solid. Kalhana's Rajataranjini is a work on the history of. Well done. Kashmir is right. The writer of Indian War of Independence, 1857 is. Right again. V.D. Savarkar is valid. The Indian National Congress was founded in the year. Well picked. 1885 is correct. Who had introduced the Indian Universities Act 1904? Good job. Lord Curzon works well. The chief product of the Portuguese-Indian trade was. Great thinking. Spices is right. In 1946, there was a muting of Indian naval ratings in. Great job. Bombay is accurate. In which year was the Indian Home Rule Society founded? 1905 is spot on. Coins are the most important source for the history of. Excellent choice. Indo-Greek rulers is right. The first plans for an Indian railway system was made by. You're right. Hardinge is correct. The first session of Indian National Congress was held in. Solid response. Bombay is valid. The first weekly paper published by the Ink was. Nice work. India fits perfectly. Which Indian freedom fighter coined the slogan Jai Hind? Valid point. Sasi Bose is true.
Who authored Rajataranjini, the famous history of Kashmir?
Sharp thinking. Kalhan is right. Indian influence in Southeast Asia dates from the time of. Smart move. Ashoka is accurate answer. Which among the following is related to history of Kashmir? Smart pick. Rajataranjini is correct. Who has complimented Samudragupta as the Indian Napoleon? Exactly. V.A. Smith makes sense. The earliest stratum of the history of the Tamils is known as. Well reasoned. Sangam age is correct. Who was the first Governor General of the new Indian Dominion? Solid response. Lord Mountbatten is valid. Who was the first Indian ruler who had territory outside India? Nicely done. Kanishka is solid. Which of the following Indian politicians was not assassinated? Or great thinking. Jawaharlal Nehru is right. Perhaps the worst famine in Indian history till 1880 occurred in.
Well done, 1876.
The first Persian ruler who occupied part of Indian territory was. Right choice, Cyrus is best. The Indian Civil Service Act was passed during the Viceroyalty of.
Smart move. Canning is accurate answer.
Under which Viceroy's tenure Indian National Congress was formed. Sharp thinking. Lord Dufferin is right. The Indian naval mutiny against the British took place in the year. Excellent choice. 1946 is right.
The first elected Indian president of the Legislative Assembly was.
On track. Vijay Patel is correct. Which of the following Indian kings defeated Muhammad Ghori first? Right again. Bhima is valid. The central feature of Indian society during 800 to 1200 AD was. Valid point. Liberalism is true. Humayun restored the Indian kingdom with the help of the ruler of. Clear logic. Persia is sound. Who among the following are known as kingmakers in Indian history? Correct response. Sayed brothers is accurate. Which of the following is concerned with origin of Indian medicine? Nice selection. Atharvaveda is correct.
The Gupta king who is known in the Indian legends as Vikramaditya was.
You got it?
Chandragupta fits.
The British colonial policies in India proved ruinous for Indian. Strong choice. Handicrafts is right. 6.
Which one of the following works deals with the history of Kashmir?
Bravo. Rajaranjini is the answer.
Which one of the following is the earliest school of Indian philosophy?
Good job. Vaisasika works well. During the 13th and 14th centuries, the Indian peasant did not cultivate. You chose maize. Correct. Which of the following Indian cities was not established by the British? Good thinking. Delhi is right. Which of the following ancient Indian states was an autonomous republic? Nice work. Sekya fits perfectly. Kautilya was the prime and Janesta of which of the following Indian rulers? Well picked. Chandragupta Maurya is correct.
Which one of the following is known as mother of Indian revolutionaries?
Smart pick. Madam Kama is correct.
The Indian Civil Service examination was thrown open to all by the act of.
Excellent. 1850A is well reasoned.
The viceroy who wanted to train Indian in the art of self-government was.
Correct. Ripan is spot on.
Mahatma Gandhi was the president of Indian National Congress only once at.
Well reasoned. Belgaum is correct.
Which session of the Indian National Congress approved Gandhi-Irwin Pact?
Exactly. Karachi session makes sense. Of the following, who are not given reserved seats in the Indian legislature, are.
You're right. Landed gentry is correct.
In the Indian history, which period is called as Golden Age of Architecture?
Great job. Gupta period is accurate. In which country Indian Independence Committee was formed during British era?
Perfect. Germany is the one.
V.D. Savarkar published his book The Indian War of Independence in London in. Good job, 99 works well. Which session of Indian National Congress was presided by Subhash Chandra Bose? You chose Haripura. Correct.
In which year did the Indian National Congress hold its first meeting in Bombay?
Great, 1885 is accurate. Indika, a reliable source for the history of Chandragupta Maurya, what was written by? Smart move, Megasthenes is accurate answer. Which one of the following is not a feature of North Indian temple architecture? Well reasoned. Gopura is correct. King Piyadasi, referred to in some ancient Indian inscriptions, is identified with. Nice selection. Ashoka is correct. The earliest evidence of agriculture in Indian subcontinent has been obtained from.
On track. Mirgar is correct.
Foreigners were absorbed in a large number in the Indian society during the period.
Correct response. Marian is accurate.
The Indian National Congress had been formed with the knowledge and approval of Lord. Right again. Dufferin is valid. The first Indian who was elected to the leadership of the Communist International was.
Well picked. Monroe is correct. Which was the only session of Indian National Congress presided by Mahatma Gandhi?
Sharp thinking. Belgaum is right. Which of the following periods is considered as the revolutionary era in Indian history? Well done, 1857-90 is.
Which among the following was prevalent in the Indian society before the Muslim conquest?
Perfect. Slavery is the one. Which of the following works of Kalidas gives information about history of Sangha dynasty?
Nicely done. Malvicagnimotrim is solid.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Bravo! Contact Narayan Changder is the answer.